Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to Lineup Predictions here on the Magpie Channel TV. Bournemouth away tomorrow, sitting 18th in the Premier League, in the bottom three. Looking potentially like they're going to get relegated. It's going to be a massive scrap. There's them and a couple of others in and around them. Brighton, West Ham, that are fighting for survival. So it's going to be a huge game for them. They're going to be dying for 3 points. They're trying to claw their way out of the bottom three. It's been 2-2 for the last 2 years down at the Vitality Stadium. I think I made a joke last year that I was going to put 2-2 on, and I didn't. So I'm probably going to do that this year. 2-2 last couple of years. Matt Ritchie last year with the volley late on to grab a point. On their front, they've got quite a few big news from their team. Their main striker, Callum Wilson, is suspended. Josh King, another one of their forward threats, is doubtful. They've got Philip Billen, who is expected to be available. And they've released a couple of decent players in Jordan Ibe and Ryan Fraser. So that could bode very well for us. I don't really know how deep they are going forward. They've got a few decent players, but obviously they're in the bottom three, so they're not that good. Brucey's press conference is wrapped up this morning, and there's a little bit of concern. I'm going to read through what he said. Matt Ritchie is touch and go. He's desperate to play, but he was nowhere near it on Friday, so we'll see how he is. You can't really take a risk with soft tissue injuries, because if he's not right, you could risk losing him for the rest of the season, which is fair play, but I'm pretty sure Isaac Hayden also had a soft tissue injury, and he started against Man City. Didn't quite look himself, but whatever. On St Maximin, he says, lockdown's done him well. Good to see those niggle and hamstrings, which he always seemed to have a concern with, like especially when you rely on the pace like he does. He was extremely tired yesterday. 4 games in 11 days. He says he's going to use the squad, and we'll see how he is this afternoon. On Florian Lejeune, it's going to be touch and go for Florian Lejeune as to whether he plays any more part this season. He picked up a nasty thigh injury in the friendly against Hull, which was a grade 2. He says he thinks he's 7 days into what the thought may have been around about a 4-week injury. So we may not see Lejeune for the rest of the season. To take 4 points in 2 league games we're pleased about. On Sunday, I make no excuses about the way we tried to go about the game plan, but unfortunately we didn't play when we had the ball. We now have to focus on accumulating as many points as we can. Absolutely agreed, because we're not safe yet. We're on, 39 points now? They say you need 40 to be absolutely sure of survival. I think those teams in and around Bournemouth, I think they're the ones that really need to watch out. Like, I think we're 6 points off 15th place Brighton, sorry. Like, we've got enough of a gap now. We just can't let it slip. Like, points are crucial. I think this one is going to be a huge one. Brucey's talked about rotating the team, which I also agree with, but I just think for now we need to just sit out this win and then let the season play on it from there. So he did say, I think it's only right that I freshen us up. I don't want to go down to Bournemouth with them not having a game in a week and us playing 4 games in 11 days. So I will be making some changes. Hopefully that pays off. I respect that. I do. Like, players are playing 2-3 games in a week at the minute. It's going to be very, very tough for them. We're picking up injuries right, left and centre. So yeah, to freshen it up, it's the right idea. But I think we just need to go out and get this win. Whatever happens, happens. Like, I think this win's the crucial one. Get 3 points for guaranteed safety. It's done. And it looks like we are safe already now, but it's not mathematically. Until it's mathematically safe, I'm not going to be content, me. I want to go down to Bournemouth, ensure 3 points, do whatever it takes, and then whatever happens, happens. We can rotate as much as we like, give some new people an opportunity. I just want to ensure that we're safe. And we can push up. I look like I've said, why do I keep saying Bournemouth? Because we're playing Bournemouth. Brighton are 6 points behind us. We're in 14th. Brighton in 15th, 6 points behind. I've looked up the table, and 6 points ahead of us are Tottenham in 7th. So if we play our cards right, we can reach in that top 10 easily. We just need to pick up some points. We've got Brighton to come. Bournemouth, West Ham, Watford, another one fighting for relegation, Tottenham, who have already beat this season, City, who have drawn with at home, and Liverpool on the last day of the season. Could be making some rotation, might be making some changes, might see some youngsters like Harvey Elliott brought in. It's the last day of the season. They're probably going to have eclipsed 100 points by then. They've already won the league. They've got nothing else really to play for. So I've just seen as well the Europa League are making some changes as to where 8th place in the Premier League could get you a qualification spot. So if we can get to 8th, we could get Europe next season. Like, I don't see any reason to just lay it down. Like, need to get this win, and then, as I say, whatever happens, happens, but we can still push on. We haven't got a great lot of rotation. We've got some, particularly if players like Lejeune and Richie and that are going to be out, it's going to be a little bit harder. But we can get Europe, man. We just want to push on. I don't want to lie down and make too many changes, make stupid mistakes like going down to Bournemouth, making too many changes and end up getting a defeat. Because if they keep climbing, if they get 3 points, get another 3 points, they could be right behind our tails. So we need to go out and do everything we can to get this win. And going off what I said there, I'm going to go into my lineup, but before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about formation. 4-2-3-1. None of this 5 at the back bullshit, Brucey. Honestly, I don't want to say that for the rest of the season. We've still got stuff to play for. I know we're technically safe, but we can push on. As I said, Europe could be within touching distance. This 5 at the back crack doesn't work, and we've seen that. We tried it. I think on paper, going against Man City, it might have been the right decision. I cannot really argue with Brucey, but he admitted in his press conference this morning, it didn't work. Things changed at half-time against Man City, and we were much better in the second half when we went back to 4 at the back. Shaw came out the back line, moved into a DM role. Sean Longstaff went a bit further up the field, and we played much, much better in that second half. If Dwight Gale scored that goal, who knows, we could have pushed on to win, because I thought we were the better team up until that moment. For a short period anyway, for a very short period of time, we were the better team, pressing and pressing. If that goal goes in and it's 1-1, we've got the upper hand. We could go on and win that game, even if it's via extra time or penalties. So now there's 5 at the back. As I say, we're remaining games: Bournemouth, Brighton, West Ham, Watford, all teams at the bottom. Cannot be saying 5 at the back against any one of them. If we do, I'm going to be absolutely fucking raging, and I'm done with this season if I see 5 at the back once more against any of them. Man City's the next tough team we've got, and as we've just seen, tried 5 at the back, didn't work. Much better second half with 4 at the back. Tottenham, already beat them this season. They've been on a bit of a poor run as well. I think they won their last game 2-0, but before then, I think they went on a run of about 7 Premier League games without a win. Tottenham are beatable. Like, as I said, they're 7th, 6 points ahead of us. Beatable team. And then Liverpool, as I say, at the end of the season, they probably couldn't give a shite anyway. They've already would have lifted the trophy the game before at Anfield. Last day of the season, they would have eclipsed 100 points. Couldn't give a shit. Nothing to play for. So, nah. Just go for them. Try and ruin their last day. Spoil their party. So 4 at the back. Into the team. Dubravka obviously in goal. Fair play to Carl Darlow, who came in against Man City and had a really, really good game. Like, can't fault Carl Darlow. Thought he was great. But Premier League, Dubravka's the man. No questions about it. In terms of the back 4, Brucey says he's going to rotate, but as I say, this game's huge. We just need to get them 3 points to push on. So I don't want to see a change in the back 4 just yet. So Manquillo, Fernandez, Lascelles and Rose, all going back in. Obviously, Shaw came in on Sunday and was gash. So cannot be playing Shaw. Lejeune and Clark are still out and Daunt's ineligible. So other than Shaw, we haven't got another centre-back available. Unless we do something drastic, which there's absolutely no need to do. We haven't got another left-back to replace Rose. Manquillo's the only one replaceable. That's the word. Yedlin and Kraft could come in, but Manquillo's been in good form recently. Deserved that spot, deserved a new contract. So for this game, get him in. Brucey can use his subs. We've got 5 substitutes to use now, not just 3. So I know Fernandez has particularly looked tired over the last couple of games towards the end. So just play on for an hour, then get Shaw on in place of Fernandez. Get Yedlin on for Manquillo, and anything like that. or put Manquillo onto the left as he did on Sunday, and either one of them, Kraft or Yedlin, on the right. It doesn't really matter. Could put Kraft on the right and Yedlin on the wing. We've got them options. But I just want to say, well, a decent enough team to start, to get a win. Hopefully we can go a goal or two up and then make some changes. If the likes of Manquillo and Fernandez are looking tired, get them off. Into midfield, the midfield two. I'm going to go with Nabil Bentaleb. I've incorrectly predicted Bentaleb to start every game since restart. And to be fair, I'm quite pleased I've been wrong, because to be fair, I'm not really a huge fan of Bentaleb. I think since he's been here, he's had 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most decent games. But, you know, like in terms of rotation, I think centre mid was our big problem on Sunday, particularly. Like everyone's injured. Hayden had soft tissue injury. Shelvey wasn't fit. Sean Longstaff and Matty Longstaff both came in from a long time out. I don't think Matty Longstaff's been included in the squad since Bentaleb came in, really. He hasn't had a sniff in, really, since Bentaleb came in. And Sean Longstaff's had a very disappointing season, been very disappointed in him. It was this time last year, me and Renty were making videos on the balcony in Benidorm for Jody Rickstagdo, addressing the link between Sean Longstaff and Man United, saying, keep a hold of him, he's the future, he's got so much potential. But for 50 million, it's looking now like we should have taken it and Man United would have been fucking robbed. Now, Matty's got things on his mind. I don't really want to see Matty involved until these contracts are sorted, because I think he's got one eye in fucking wherever it is, Bella Italia. Shelvey was an unused substitute the other day, which tells me he wasn't fit. I don't know why he was even there. I think Shelvey really could have done well against Man City. I think his passing ability would have been vital in that second half. We needed to open up Man City's defence because they were there for the taking for a short period. And Shelvey could have came on and done that. So for him not to have came on, for Matty Longstaff to come on instead of Shelvey, I think that tells me that he wasn't fit. He was a huge doubt going into it. He named on the bench, didn't get used. Like, if he wasn't fit, why was he even there? I'd rather have seen like a Jack Young or a Tom Allen on the bench, someone who actually could come on, like as an option, at least anyway. I'm not saying that Brucey would have used them, but if need be, I'd rather someone fit and eligible there than having someone injured on the bench, just sitting there looking pretty for the team sheet. Hayden, he started the game, as I mentioned before. He was a doubt going into that game as well. Soft tissue injury, same as Richie. He didn't have a bad game, Hayden, but you can tell he wasn't fit. He shouldn't have been there, but as I talk about the options, there was none. Bentaleb was suspended, which I'll address. I got wrong in my lineup prediction. I go to my sources. I do my research, but the source forgot to mention, or I just read past it, that Bentaleb was suspended. And obviously the yellow card came against West Brom about 4 or 5 months ago. I can't remember that shit. So apologise about that. I do my research. Hopefully I've done me a good enough research this week, but this is just a guessing game. Obviously Brucey says he's going to rotate. This is more than what I'm hoping for. So alongside Bentaleb, I will put Hayden. I just fingers crossed Hayden's fit, but he's another one. If not, get him off. We've got a couple options there, depending on the fitness of John Joe Shelvey, Sean Longstaff and Matty Longstaff. I think they just need to get in a mind frame more than anything. They just need to get that shit together. Sean Longstaff, I don't know where his head is. As I say, Matty's got one mind in Serie A. So I think them two are just more of a mental struggle at the minute than anything. Sean Longstaff's performances this season have been poor, but that options, if Hayden can't last 90 minutes, they're your options. So that's how I would start, and then make some changes further on. Further forward, Saint-Maximin. Brucey said they're going to have to monitor him. They're going to see how he gets on this afternoon. Yeah, he was extremely tired yesterday. Yeah, fair play. Like, people will be. Like I say, they're playing 2-3 games in a week. Like, fatigue will come into it. Like, we'll make some changes towards the end of the season when we know that we're safe. But for now, if he's fit, I don't want to see Saint-Maximin on the bench. If Saint-Maximin's fully fit and he's rested, honestly, fucking sack Brucey on the spot. Saint-Maximin is by far our best player. The only one who actually does things. The only one that can actually like get forward, create a bit of spark. like frighten the other team's defence as well. Like, he's the only one that actually gets us up off our seat. I think I mentioned in a video a couple of weeks ago, if it wasn't for Saint-Maximin, I'd honestly be fucking bored watching Newcastle this season. Like, there's no one else really that can get you off your seat like he does. I think he's the only one since Ben Arfa that's been able to do that. Someone with a real flair, real skill and pace on the ball. It was quite frightening to watch if you're an opposition fan. So, if Maxi's fit, got to start. Absolutely got to. If we get this win, we guarantee safety. Maybe rest him for the next game. We've got West Ham after this coming up at the weekend. Fair play. Maybe he's give him a rest then. Bring him on for the last 20 minutes if we need a little bit of spark towards the end. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And then in the middle, Almiron. Another one, the only next one I would say to Saint-Maximin who provides a little bit of spark, a bit of flair, a bit of pace into the forward line. He's been poor the last 2 games, to be fair, for me, Almiron. If there was anyone else to replace him, I don't think we've got a decent number 10. I think the next best number 10s are probably Sean and Matty, unless you play Maxi or Joe Linton in the hole. I don't know. But Almiron against Man City and Aston Villa did very little. I was quite disappointed, to be honest. But hopefully, maybe he might have just been tired. Hopefully, he might just need a little bit of a rest. Maybe against a team like Bournemouth in the bottom 3, struggling, we can go to them and he can have a decent game. Hopefully he can get his name on the score sheet early on and see what happens from there. But Almiron has to start for me, really. There's nobody else I would rather see there. Him and Saint-Maximin, 2 best players on the pitch for me, other than Hayden when he's fit. On the left, I want to see Joe Linton. This is his more natural position. This is where he's best, further up the field, not as a number 9. I thought he made a bit of a difference. I think it was too little too late when he came on against Man City. But he was actually giving it a go. He was tracking back. He was getting some tackles in. He was the nearest one to Sterling. When Sterling scored, he tracked all the way back. He was the one there. He didn't really need to be there. Like, I didn't really think it was his job. But I think the midfield too were knackered. So I don't blame Joe Linton for that. He's not a defender. That wasn't his role for that. And towards the end, he committed a bit of a foul going in with his shoulder. He was just trying to go in 50-50, really, just to use his strength. The referee gave it a foul. But at least he was back. He was putting effort in. I remember he picked the ball up just before that from about the right back's position and dribbled forward, took on a couple of men, used a bit of skill. Back is where he's good at, not up top. He cannot play on the last line. So I was thinking during the Man City game, I would like to have seen Joe Linton with Andy Carroll, because Joe Linton does link up very well. He can play the ball forward. When he gets it, he can carry it forward all right. And I think Carroll needed a little bit more service. He was very, very isolated. I think with Joe Linton there, could have made a difference. I really think we could have been a better team. And speaking of that, Andy Carroll, someone for him to link up with. He's another one whose fitness may be a question, but I didn't want to see anyone else up top. Dwight Gale, get the fuck. As I say, Joe Linton's not a striker. Didn't really want to see Muto up top either. And other than that, we've got no one other than Tom Allen. So Andy Carroll has to start. Probably won't make the full 90 minutes. If not, we can mix things up. Maybe Gale, maybe Muto, maybe play Joe Linton up top and bring on Lazaro or a Richie or whoever's fit on the wing. Yedlin maybe. Andy Carroll, he provides so much. Honestly, I fucking love Andy Carroll. He was giving Laporte a nightmare. How much was Laporte? He was about a 60-70 million signing. World-class centre-back. He had a fucking nightmare with him. Their Bournemouth's best defender is Nathan Ake. Just give a couple of elbows into him, he'll back off. Honestly, I think Andy Carroll can cause a huge threat against Bournemouth, especially with them in behind them, Joe Linton, Almiron if he's going to perform, and Saint-Maximin if fit. I think we can absolutely fucking smash them if that's the crack. As I say, good defence, Manquillo, Fernandez, Lascelles and Rose, best we can. Just play our fittest midfield double. Doesn't really matter who it is, to be fair. Hopefully Hayden's fit. Betlev's the only one who should be fit, really. Whatever Brucey decides to do, he says he might rotate, whatever it is. So that's my starting 11 anyway. In terms of the bench, obviously Carl Darlow. Yedlin and Kraft, as I mentioned. Shah as well. For midfield, probably Shelvey and Sean Longstaff. Matt Ritchie's a doubt. Well, he's touch and go, but I hate terms like that. I'd rather just know like he's close to it. Like, I don't know, touch and go doesn't really sound good to me. Like, if he's not fit, don't play him, as I said about Shelvey in the Man City game before. So Shelvey and Sean Longstaff, just leave Matty at home to dwell over his contract. Is he going to sign it? He needs to get his mind frame sorted before he can play anymore for me. I don't really want to see him play again until he signs that contract. Because I don't really want to see him play when he's got one mind in Italy. When he knows he's going to be leaving at the end of the season, just leave him out. Like Sean and Shelvey, Valentino Lazaro is the option on the wing without Ritchie if he's not going to make it. And Gale and Muto as the options up top. As I said, Dwight Gale had an absolute shocker the other day. And I'm going to quickly address Muto again. I feel like I do this almost every week, but I still find in the comments, like, oh, what about Muto? He hasn't been given a chance. Say in the live stream, people say the same thing. He hasn't been given a chance. For me, he has. He's been here for 2 years. I remember his debut. He came on as a sub. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been Tottenham on the first game of last season, whenever his debut was. I remember talking to Jody Rick after the game, and Jody Rick was like, he's shite. And I was like, fucking hell, it's his debut. He had to be 10 minutes against a decent team. Like, give him a chance. And he was like, nah, fuck him. Then I think after like 2 or 3 more times I've seen him, I kind of started to see what he was saying. I was like, actually, nah, he's a bit of a Dwight Gale. Like, he's not strong enough for the Premier League. He's short. He's not strong enough. He cannot really hold the ball up. And the times I've seen him, he's done okay in Carabao Cup games, in pre-season friendlies. In the Premier League, his highlight was his goal at Old Trafford against Man United. But the times I've seen him, and he's been given more of a chance than just that. He's had a few appearances and hasn't done it. But what does it for me is that he rarely gets in a matchday squad, even when he's fit. Like, he's been fit since the restart, and he's been an unused sub. Why is that? Why are they bringing Gale on instead when Gale can't hit a fucking barn door? Like, obviously something's going on in training. Like, Rafa was the same. Rafa rarely used him. Between Rafa and Bruce, like, when he's fit, he's not getting a game. He's not getting in the matchday squad. So obviously they're seeing something in training that tells you something's just not there. He's not Premier League quality. People are banging on about Gale, how he's not Premier League quality. Like, Gale's done it in the Premier League. Gale's got a decent number of Premier League goals. Maybe not decent, but he's got a few anyway. Muto hasn't. Like, Gale's been in the Premier League for years. Like, Muto struggles to get into the Japan team. Japan aren't a great national team, and he struggles to get into that squad. So that tells you all you need to know about Muto for me. Not good enough. Add him onto the list of dead weight with Gale, Atsu, Callback, Sterry, Saive. Needs to go. Need to just get some money for him, whatever it is. Few million, 5 million. Sell him for me. Bring someone in the summer who's actually going to compete for the starting lineup, who can actually get in a matchday squad when fit. That's what I want to see. I want to see some real competition. People fighting for a spot, particularly if we're going to get a takeover. We'll talk about that another day. Like, we need real competition. Like, if we sign some decent players, get some decent strikers, Muto's going to be way down in the pecking order. If he kind of get ahead of Carroll, Gale and Joe Linton, imagine if we sign some decent players like a Danny Ings or someone like that, someone who can actually like put the ball in the net. He hasn't got a chance, mate. So that's my rant over anyway. Yeah, sorry if that was a little bit negative, but that's my lineup anyway. Who knows whether it's right? Probably not. Brucey says he's going to rotate. Respect his decision to rotate. But for me, I think we just need to go out, all out, get a win against Bournemouth, see it through, get the 42 points in the league, push up towards the top 10, and who knows, could get that 8th and final Europa League spot by the end of the season if we keep going. But that's for me anyway. Let me know what you guys think. Would you agree with the formation? For me, it's not even up for debate, but if there is going to be rotation, who would you play? Carroll up top, Gale on Muto, Joe Linton up top or on the wing. Would you play the same back four? Who's going to be fit for centre mid? Let me know what you guys think. Like the video, and don't forget, please, to subscribe to the Magpie channel. And don't forget to enjoy yourself.